CEO of Lululemon standing by his decision to fire employees who tried to stop shoplifters.
Seriously, get out. Get out. Get out.
That is video from a robbery last year taken by one of those employees. It happened in Atlanta. 3 suspects were seen gathering up merchandise and running out of the store. Now, the suspects were eventually caught, but as I told you, the person who filmed that video and another employee was fired. CEO Calvin McDonald says the company has a zero-tolerance policy to not interfere with shoplifters. And he told CNBC the employees knowingly broke the policy. Now, in response, some people have tweeted 100% discount on everything at Lulu. And that policy isn't unique to them, by the way. I worked at the Gap for a year after high school. I took a literal gap year, and they had the same policy. And we always understood it was because they didn't want us to sue them if we got hurt trying to intervene.
Yeah.
Because my $7.95 an hour was not enough to risk my scrawny bones for a chunky shawl cable knit sweater. That's why. They don't want you, because if you get hurt, then
yeah, but if they didn't sue, like, we're just encouraging bad behavior.
That's what people are saying.
It's just the world is upside down.
But I also agree, though, because it's like I was getting paid minimum wage, and there wasn't any way that I was going to try to, like, get involved in that kind of thing. It wasn't worth it for me.
Of course not.
So you, like, duck into the dressing room. And
Go ahead. You're like, dang it.
I think the difference is that we, at that time, which, you know, believe it or not, was not last year when I was in high school. At that time, we, you know, people were prosecuted for shoplifting. So
yes.
It's just a
and
different
now
time.
they get away with it.
Yeah. So.
Correct.
At the Huguenot High School graduation, we had 3 off-duty officers working security inside. We had 7 officers working off Belvedere to provide traffic control. At 5:13 p.m., officers inside the venue at 6 North Laurel reported hearing gunshots outside. They responded, notified folks on their radio. Responding officers on the traffic detail responded behind me and found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds. We had a total of 7 individuals with gunshot wounds. 3 are considered life-threatening, 4 are considered non-life-threatening. We had a total of 2 other individuals who either self-transported or transported by the ambulance authority, local hospitals with injuries other than gunshots. 2 of them were from falls. 1 was hit by a car during the melee, and 3 reported suffering from anxiety and were treated either at the scene or at a local hospital. At this point, we've taken 2 subjects into custody. At this point, we do not believe there's a ongoing threat to the community. And I'd like to say that we are in the very early stages of this investigation.
This is supposed to be a joyous day when our kids walk the stage and get their diploma, which is what they all did here for Huguenot today. And walked out the doors into their families and friends' arms, taking pictures. And then this tragedy occurred. I don't have any more words on this. I'm just tired of seeing people get shot, our kids get shot, and I beg of the entire community to stop, to just stop. Our kids can't take it, our teachers can't take it, our families can't take it anymore. I beg of you to stop.
Dana, tell us what you know. I mean, they did fill in some holes, but I know, as Jim just mentioned, there's still a lot of unanswered questions.
A lot of unanswered questions. We know 2 people have been arrested. Were they firing at each other? Was this some sort of coordinated attack? It's still unclear. And who are the victims here? We know that 2 of the victims were actually injured, not by gunshots, but were actually injured just during the chaos of it all police telling us that one person fell, another person was hit by a car, and that someone else had issues with anxiety after this shooting rampage. I don't want to call it a rampage, but the shooting outside of this high school graduation. It's obviously very concerning for a lot of people in the area. That's probably why they had to cancel the next high school graduation ceremony that was supposed to happen later this evening as investigators try to piece together what happened. But it's also kind of interesting just to know that you had off-duty officers not only inside the graduation, but also outside trying to help with mitigating traffic during the rush hour. So still a lot of information to piece together. We know that the public school system there has said that school will not resume tomorrow. So it sounds like maybe some people were going to school, or maybe this is a district wide thing, but it's just very interesting to know that this has happened here, and still a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah, thankfully, those police officers, as you point out, were there for the graduation. And we heard it from the mayor, it's nothing sacred here. We've had so many shootings across America nearly every week, another mass shooting. And tonight we have it in downtown Richmond. It appears it happened just outside of a graduation, a high school graduation, where kids were hoping to get their diplomas and move on with the next step of their lives, and yet it ends in gunfire. Dana, we appreciate it as well. I know you're going to stand by for us throughout the broadcast, and as soon as we get more information, we will update our viewers.
Let's move now to breaking news out of France. Several children were stabbed on a playground. It happened in the alpine town of Annecy. That's about 5 hours southeast of Paris, and it's not far from Geneva, Switzerland. Officials say an attacker with a knife wounded 4 children and 1 adult in a park. 3 of the victims are said to be in critical condition. Police say the suspect was quickly apprehended, taken into custody. They say he is a Syrian national with legal refugee status in France. French President Emmanuel Macron reacting to this morning, calling the attack absolute cowardice. He tweeted, "The nation is in shock. Our thoughts are with them, as well as their families, and emergency services mobilized." In Paris, lawmakers interrupted a debate to hold a moment of silence for the victims.
Shalom, shalom. Give all honor and glory and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone for teaching us this truth and sincerity. Salutation to the hopeful elect that spread throughout the 4 corners of the earth. So the title of this lesson is there is a perverse spirit amongst the entire world. There's a perverse spirit amongst the entire world. By world, I mean this kingdom, right? This old world. So, as you can see, in the first video I showed, there was Jates, so-called Negroes that enter a Lululemon store and decided to, just help themselves out with just taking, items, clothes, bags, all types of stuff, right? Not giving a care of the world, not obeying the employees to tell them to put it down. They just, going rampant, right? Then you had the one about the shooting that happened at Virginia, graduation shooting, right? And I guess 7 people got injured, I'm pretty sure. Again, it just showed what kind of spirit these people are in. it, it you know, there's like there's Yahweh, he bringing his judgment um, upon upon um, upon these people, right? And then in the next clip, there was a stabbing. Pretty sure it was seven people that got injured. Um, there was a stabbing in France, you know, in a park, right? And I think there were either three children were stabbed. I'm pretty sure, um, and an adult. But they just show again, YAHAWASHI, you have no respect of persons, right? Um, then you have this, this image of Taiki Barber, pretty sure his name is Taiki Barber, who is a former NFL player, um, dressed in a dressed in some tight shorts with some, I'm pretty sure those are leggings, and a cut off cut off a unsleeved sleeveless blue jean you know jacket right. um, then you have a comment down here, I don't know if you can read it or not, but it says vintage perish, selling your soul is rather to not do what you want to do. Is a pair of shoes is a pair of shoes could have been a male shoes in the beginning, but now the norm says it isn't. Who cares? So right, it just shows the things these people do, right? Especially because it's a Jake. Um, I don't know what tribe he from. He like a so-called Negro, but um, it just shows what our people are willing to do to make it on this side. Um, all right. Um, so I'm gonna get into the lesson. Um, there's a perverse spirit amongst the entire world, right? And I got Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. Yahweh Shah has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. They have caused Egypt to err and every word thereof as a drunken man stagger in his vomit. So, there's a perverse spirit in this modern day kingdom, in this modern day Egypt, which is America. But ultimately, there's a perverse spirit amongst the entire world, right? Because this kingdom is in the hand of the wicked, right? Then we're going to say word perverse. Let's see. Distorting, perverting, warping. Then I have another definition of it. Perverse. Of a person or their actions. Of a person or their actions, showing a deliberate and obstinate desire to behave in a way that is unreasonable or unacceptable, often in spite of the consequences, right? So again, in the first clip of the Lululemon situation where the Jakes came in and robbed, they did it without a spite of consequences, right? They didn't care they were going to jail. They didn't care they were either gonna get shot, you know. And there was some more stuff that happened too. There was a story about a mother and her daughter, and the mother killed the mother dismembered or um, killed her um, mother, the grandmother, right? You can look this story up, but she killed her mother by dismembering her body with an axe, I believe it was, and she tried to cook it in the grill, you know, her body, and then they buried the body in the basement of the grandmother's house, um, and they just show what type of spirit or you know her this whole kingdom this um this modern day Egypt is in a perverse spirit. Um, Then you have a person who is a man who is um, trying to make himself taller, I guess. Surgically, a man getting surgically taller. He's trying to increase his height. I don't know why. Um, there you go. A 41-year-old man in the U.S. underwent a painful surgery to grow 5 inches after feeling insecure about his height. So more likely, there's a Jake. Yeah, I think he was a Jake. He was, um, but and it says America, right? And it just shows again what type of spirit these people are in. That getting surgically, trying to increase their height. You know, um, that can lead to all types of complications, right? But these people do not care. They don't have any knowledge whatsoever. They just do, they just do what they want to do, right? Chapter Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? That you seeing right now, there's a lot of, iniquity going on. There's a lot of, you know, especially you got pride going on. Again, you got um, a lot of things happening. You got a lot of people being put to death around the whole world. You got, you know, again, you got the situation down there around the South China Sea, around the Taiwan area. Then you have a wildfire going on in Canada that has spread throughout the whole entire coast of the United States to New York. I heard that it's gonna come all the way down to the Carolinas, all the way down to the Carolinas. So there's a whole lot of things going on, right? And many people are, not, many people are not in the, they're not in the right mind state, right? Romans chapter 2, verse 11, for there is no respect of persons with the Most High, right? So, if Yahweh Shai, you know, he doesn't care if you're young, old, if you're male, female, if, if you think you need to be called back up, um, to the spirit world. If you think you need to be put to death brutally, then that what he going to send out his death angels to do, to fulfill his will, right? There's nothing you can't argue with it. Some some people are foolish, because they don't know why that person, or why there's a lot of stuff going on, or why there's a lot of people being put to death. But it's just YAHAWASHI sending out his death angels to fulfill his will. The people are never going to understand that, because they're not in a spiritual mindset. They're all in a carnal mindset, so they're not going to understand the things of YAHAWASHI. Um, Here goes Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. The just, the just, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. Right. So every morning, every day, someone is going to be judged. Either judgment can come in many ways. It can be you get into a car accident and you need to go to the hospital. It can be you being put to death, either by a gunfire, by drowning, by poisoning. Um, it can be you being severely injured and needed to have crutches to walk. Um, it can be something going on with either your mental state, physically. You know, there can be a lot of things that could happen because of something you did. Um, yeah, offended YAHAWASHI, right? It can be your past life, your present life. Never knows. You never know. So you gotta be circumspect, and watch what you're doing at all time. Kiss. There's a paraphrase, and there's a scripture that says, "Kiss the Lord lest He be angry." Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city? And YAHAWASHI has not done it, right? So, these people are not going to understand, but, again, that's YAHAWASHI, sending a perverse spirit amongst the people, amongst the different nations, to fulfill his will, to bring out his judgment. And ultimately, there's gonna be a lot of judgment coming when Jacob trouble get around. There's gonna be a lot of judgment. Um, there's gonna be a lot of evil spirits out amongst doing handling the judgment of YAHAWASHI. Uh, which again, the people are gonna be not gonna understand, because they're not spiritual. They're all carnal. But we, the teacher, the prophet of YAHAWASHI, we understand why he's bringing out the judgment. And we understand how to, walk, how to correct our actions, to not, be judged like these people are being judged. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. YAHAWASHI has made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked. Yeah, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Right. So, um, the wicked is referring to Esau, Edom. That will that will be bringing out that MOTB, famine. famine of the word, the famine of the bread, family, food, all that, all because they did evil, right? Um, you know, there's gonna be a lot of things happening, right? But I created, so the so-called white men to fulfill that, to fulfill, his will, right? Um, so there's nothing, you can't stop it from happening. Um, so like, you can't stop it from happening. There's nothing you can do. Um, from stopping YAHAWASHI from bringing out his judgment, because you know he created all things for his purpose. I'm gonna end it here with Isaiah chapter 47, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. YAHAWASHI do all these things, right? So again, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can physically do to stop, um, YAHAWASHI from bringing out his judgment. Because it's written, he created evil. He made peace, right? If he wanted this whole world to be at peace, then he would do that. But if he want some type of, some type of, some type of, thing to happen, to fulfill his judgment to fulfill his will, then it's going to happen. It's something that you just gotta handle, right? But again, title, there's a perverse spirit amongst the entire world. All right, and I'm going to I'm going to I'm gonna get all honor and glory and praise
The
to
CEO of
YAHAWAH,
Lululemon
BAHASHAM,
standing by his
YAHAWASHI,
decision to
BAHASHAM,
fire
QADASH.
employees who tried to stop shopping.
Until next time, Shalom.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
That is video from a